Good afternoon. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having us. Well, I'm running for governor as well. No surprise to you. I grew up in Burlington. My father was a school teacher. My mother worked at UVM as a secretary so that my brother and I could get the student discount. My father passed a rule. Supper begins at 6:05 and sharply at 6:35, and he wanted only good news for my brother and me. The bad news would come promptly at the end of supper. And thus, I'm usually the second most optimistic person in any room, likely including this, but I'm looking for a person more optimistic than me. Well, let me tell you why I'm running. Because Vermonters are angry with their government. They don't listen to them. It's an administration that has done the unthinkable, having broken the bond of trust between the public and private sector, and those insiders who stood by in silence while bad ideas were followed by bad execution. And Vermonters are plenty smart. They know something is terribly wrong, and so do you. They think our economy is weak. That means jobs, wages, and even tax revenues. It's expensive to live here. The incredible growth of property taxes affects us all one way or another. They're unhappy with the way the budget's managed, 5% growth every year. The 2009 infamous override of Jim Douglas's budget, transfer of $25 million out of the education fund. They know that taxes, fees, and surcharges are up, and now they know that including property taxes, it's about $670 million in the last 5 years, with another $50 million coming up just for your pleasure this year. And for all that spending, they know, and we know, that the economy is still fragile. Unpainted homes in our communities tell you that people cannot afford to live here. And a sizable group of employers have left our state in the last 3 years. Yet, all that done, we still need to fund a cleanup of the lake. We need to make a large investment in stopping the heroin epidemic. We need to build a mental health system that's robust, and we need effective technology in government. This is called a failed experiment in governance, or incompetence at the very highest level of government. And I want to caution you, we're actually getting used to it. It's been with us for so long, we think it's ordinary. But we can fix all of this. It won't be easy. It won't happen having good slogans or vague generalities, and it won't happen overnight. So I tell you that I can fix it. It'll take a long time. I believe the governor after me will be running victory laps for the work that you and I do together. Thank you. We should be expanding the earned income tax credit, which gets to people below the poverty line who are actually working, expand it to those who are without children, which is something that would help a significant part of the population. I think there is dignity in working, and we should be focusing on helping those people at the bottom of the ladder on their way up to the upper parts of the ladder.
Legalizing marijuana this year, Bruce Lisman?
No, the answer is no. I think it's a genuinely bad idea, not well thought out. We're going to be spending a lot of money for regulation before revenues come in, probably by 2 or 3 years. The state has never underestimated costs, I would say, and so that's a problem. There are toxins in the new marijuana that affect young brains. In Colorado, kids 12 to 17 since legalization. Sharp spike up in suspensions and expulsions related directly to marijuana. Young children below the age of 12 eating edibles. We may not have them here, but they also ate blossoms. And I would tell you this is badly thought out. We send the legislature and the governor here to work on the economy and work on really fundamental issues. This is an issue that is a huge distraction that we'll pay for later. I think we need to improve our economy, not just in Chittenden County, which is growing at a rate less than the national average, but the other counties who are currently losing population in some cases and workforce in nearly all of them. Maybe we ought to make a pact between all of us that first, we don't want to lose any more employers. But the truth is we've lost a whole bunch of them. Those are workers who disappeared, jobs that are gone forever. And so we need to understand what our employers are doing and how they're doing it and how we can partner with them. Not just the ones based here, but the ones based elsewhere, often stateless. The large employers in Vermont who can invest anywhere, and small business, oftentimes you. We would pass laws that are going to afflict you with costs without understanding what you do and how you do it. Let me just say that Shelburne has just sent out a survey to a large number of small businesses asking them exactly that. How are you doing it? Why are you doing it? All those taxes, fees, surcharges are up by about $650 million in 5 years, another $60 million coming this year. You pay for that. There's no money that flies from a tree. There's no other country that's going to lend you the money to pay those things. It affects directly the number of employees you have, the economy that surrounds you, and the bigger economy in our state. It's a bad idea to keep doing this. It's time to stand up and say no thanks. Elect the right governor.
Please fill in the blank. If you elect me governor, you'll be really surprised at the difference that I will bring compared to the current governor in blank.
Competent management.
Thank you very much for being with us today.
Paid for by Lisman for Vermont, Beverly Biello, Treasurer.